Talk 100.3
डे ब्रेक शुरू हो गया है. म्यूरियल भी आ गई है हमारे स्टूडियो. 8:01 सुबह 6 बजे से हम हैं यहाँ पे.
Absolutely, and right now we are joined by Manoj Poduval. Now, he is from Zurich International Life Middle East, the head of Zurich Advisory Network, and he joined Zurich actually in 2020. Now, he has over 20 years in life insurance industry. He's moved to the UAE in 2005 with over 16 years in the Gulf and has worked across the Gulf countries to propagate insurance sales through various mediums. A former general manager and SEO for Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, Kuwait. He's a speaker in many insurance industry forums conducted under the auspices of insurance regulatory bodies in UAE, Oman, Qatar, and Bahrain. Former member and panel speaker of the Emirates Insurance Association. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Muriel. Thank you very much.
Well, so today what is the topic exactly that today we will be focusing on? If you could just give our listeners a bit of a rundown.
Well, I think we should focus on the different myths that people have when it comes to buying life insurance, right? It is not a topic of general social conversation. People don't wake up in the morning and say, I want to buy life insurance, and I hope they do one day, and that day is not too far, hopefully. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about, through conversations, how can people figure out what's the right policy for them, when should they buy, why should they buy, and all of those questions. And I hope listeners pour in and ask such questions to us.
And of course, I must say that, whenever the topic of life insurance comes, it's always your elders in the family who encourage you to do this. It's always the elder population which bring that knowledge into you. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, they have been there, seen that, right? So
life experience,
right? So I would say to youngsters that please listen to your elders, right? They are giving you the right advice. They've got the experience, so please follow that.
So, Manoj, when people come up to you and say, no, I'm too young, I'm just 25, I'm just 30, life insurance is for people over 40, over 45, I'll think about it or I'll cross that bridge when I get to that. What is the kind of advice do you give them or what do you tell them?
See, first of all, thanks for that question. It's a common question that we get, our advisors get day in, day out, and our answer is there is never the right age to buy a life insurance. You have to buy life insurance for critical illness today, right? So that today is your age and today is your day to buy. But since you asked this question, typically youngsters, and when I picture a youngster in my mind, this is somebody young at age, just started to work or just in the early ages of their career, working because they want to earn money to save something, and that savings is towards their goals and aspirations, right? Just picture this, Vivek, you are young. If you are working towards your goals and you are saving money for your goals and aspirations, and something goes wrong with your health, and you're not able to work, and you're not able to earn, and that critical illness that you were diagnosed with takes away all your savings, what happens to your goals? What happens to your aspirations, right? They either need to be pushed away, they need to be delayed, right? So for a youngster, I would always say that plan today, right? So that your goals and your aspirations remain intact because you are protected for critical illness, you are protected for life insurance. So I would say buy young to everyone. In fact, to the oldest, I would say you should have bought 20 years ago, right? So for youngsters, they should buy today.
But that uncertainty is always there, and you will never know what's going to come up in the future. But do you see life insurance as an investment or something you're hedging against?
It is an investment towards your life, right? And again, I want to take the same example. So if I am working towards my goals, or I have dependents whom I have given my promises to take care of them, responsibilities, right? And if I'm working towards it and I'm earning towards that goal, and something happens to me, and let's keep death for now aside, right? Let's say I'm diagnosed with a critical illness. What happens? Typically, all my savings goes as expenses to treat that critical illness, right? Then how am I going to fulfill my responsibilities, or how will I take care of my goals, right? So it is my investment today towards that plan B tomorrow, right? So it is an investment always.
The question that runs across our minds is, do we really need a life insurance?
Oh, absolutely yes is the answer. Do we really need life insurance? Yes, you definitely need life insurance. Everyone should have it.
Right. So in a pose, if I'm young and I buy a life insurance, and probably after 40 or 45, if I think of buying a life insurance, does this have any, benefits to it if I buy a life insurance at a younger age than in opposed to, when I come of age?
Many advantages, Muriel. So let's take one. When I'm buying young, I'm buying a life insurance policy at my current age, which means I've got it much cheaper than someone who's buying it at 45 or 50, right? And that premiums usually remain constant throughout the premium payment term, which means I've got a policy at a much lower premium price, number one. Number two, as like you said earlier, as a youngster, most likely you're in good health. Which means there is a high probability of you getting a life insurance today, as opposed to some oldies like me.
And low
right?
premium as well.
And low premium as well.
And
right?
also that belief nothing's going to go wrong with me.
That belief is there. And now good that you said that again. Let me quote some statistics. Zurich has paid in the last 3 years $160 million in claims just in the Middle East, and most of that in the UAE. The good part of that is 50% of that have been death claims to those families who lost somebody, unfortunately. But the other 50% have been, as we call as living benefit claims, meaning given to those people who are critically ill and are still living. They got a serious illness or they got a disability and they're still living, right? You said about young. The youngest claimant was 27 years old. The average claim age is 49, which means there are a significant number of people between the 27 and 49. They are young, right? So we think it's not going to happen to us, but trust me, it's happening sooner than we think it is.
Exactly.
Right.
So that way you can control. You cannot probably control some outcomes in your life, but then one thing you can plan is securing your life, and then of course, your responsibilities, you could meet them as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's a great investment towards your future financial security, as we say, right? You're not just protecting yourself by earning money today, but by keep investing a little bit aside, you're protecting your future financial security for you and your loved ones.
मनोज के लिए अगर आपके पास कोई भी सवाल है, you can always get in touch with us, 0586861003. You can give us a call as well, 800-81003. So how do we promote a mindset of preparedness and responsible decision making among young individuals without discouraging their sense of adventure and optimism?
And that's good. Youngsters today have a lot of sense of adventure and optimism, and they plan for the future, right? And they're very clear as to what kind of careers they want. They're very clear as to what kind of work they want to do, what kind of business they want to do,
what kind of salaries they want.
what kind of salaries they want. Yeah, indeed. Few things that our elders have always said to be prepared. First of all, I think you should make sure that you have a healthy lifestyle, right? It is important to I wouldn't say workout, at least do some bit of cardiovascular activities.
Today's yoga.
Today's Yoga Day.
Absolutely. It's also International Music Day, I think so.
And
right? So
happy
listen
Father's
to music.
Day to you as well. Yeah.
Thank you. So listen to music, keep your mind cool, right? Do yoga, keep yourself healthy. Let's put it that way. But that's just one part of it, right? I am taking those steps to be healthy, eat healthy, be healthy. The other one is also plan for what if I don't remain healthy.
Right.
What if that situation happens? What if this happens? And that is also important. And that's the other part of optimism, right? When I'm an optimist, I'm looking at solutions, but I'm also looking at plan B. What's my alternative solution if this one doesn't work, right? So for youngsters, do your stuff, be healthy, stay healthy, eat healthy, do yoga, listen to music, but also plan B.
Right.
Super. We will continue this conversation. अगर आपके पास सवाल 800-81003 या 0586861003.
Daybreak with Vivek, Sanil and Muriel Desar. Brought to you by Dr. Rohit Kumar. Call 055 1965 678. Talk 100.3.
A writer, YouTuber, a comedy nut. He is Vishwa Kalyan Rath and he is coming to Dubai this Eid.
एक स्टेशन पे मैं साइन बोर्ड देखा, उस पे लिखा हुआ है पॉकेट मार से सावधान। मैं बोला हाउ गुड इज दिस पॉकेट मार दैट डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ पुलिस हैज गिवन अप। ये लोगों ने ट्राई किया होगा कि बंदूक निकालो, सब लोग पकड़ेंगे उसको। सर वो लेके चला गया सर।
Fun Asia events bring to you the Big Laughter Riot with Biswa Kalyan Rath live in Dubai on 1st July at Dubai College. Associate sponsor Ajmal Perfumes. Tickets starting from 100 dirhams only. Grab yours now at platinumlist.net. Use promo code BIG to avail 10% discount.
Talk 100.3.
डे ब्रेक आप सुन रहे हैं, विवेक और म्यूरियल आपके साथ। इन क्विकली आपको याद दिला दे, बिस्वा कल्याण के शो पे आपको आना है। 2 टिकट्स आपको हम दे रहे हैं, बस आपको लिखना है बिस्वा कल्याण, स्पेस योर नेम एंड सेंड इट टू 0586861003.
Absolutely. Right now, we are joined by Manoj Poduval. He is from Zurich International Life. He's the head of Zurich Advisory Network. You know, like we're talking about reasons why the youngsters must get onto the bandwagon of, having a life insurance at the very early age, at the very early start of the career. And, you've mentioned, Manoj, a couple of those reasons. But now let's talk about strategies, initiatives that one can implement, that could help the young individuals recognize and address potential risk.
Okay, good question, Muriel. I think first of all, start early, start today, right? When you start today, like we discussed earlier, you're buying a life insurance or a critical illness at a much lower premium because you are a youngster, right? And that premium remains constant in most cases, right? All throughout your policy period or your coverage period. So start today, start young.
Correct.
And
The timing has to be calculated. For example, at the age of 20, a 20-year policy will be beneficial, and then keep topping it up as well, because I keep reading about that as well.
So generally what I tell people is, if you have an age that you want to retire, and typically people say 60 and 65, right? Typically, that's how we're used to, right?
Correct.
I think a lot of youngsters today would wish to retire at 40, 45 as
And
well,
that's also
right?
a concept, right?
Correct, it is a concept, right? So what I would then say is, if you know that this is the age you want to retire, that age minus your current age, at least for that period, you should have
Okay.
life insurance, right?
Okay.
Because that's your earning period, correct? That's your earning period where you are dependent on your income and your family is dependent on your income.
Right. So how do I buy a life insurance? We've been talking about life insurance for 12 odd minutes. For someone who does not understand the process, the way forward, how do I know what plan I'm picking really is going to work for me or not?
Listen, I mean, I can't stop myself saying this, but just call 800 Zurich. Just call 800 Zurich or log into zurich.ae. There's a Get Advice right on the top of the banner. Just click that, put in your details, and one of my team members from Zurich Advisory Network is going to give you a call and set up a meeting, right? Sorry, I couldn't stop Muriel on
But
that.
but you must, and that's exactly the answer I was looking out for. But just generally, on points to advise people as to how they can move forward with buying an insurance for everybody listening in to you.
Correct. So I think the first step is to meet a financial advisor, to meet an insurance advisor, right? And maybe at this point of time, I'll talk a little bit about what we do in Zurich Advisory Network, right? That allows the listeners to understand why we are saying, please meet up with one of our financial advisors. So what we do, Vivek, is we meet customers, we solicit the meetings. Nobody until now calls us on their own and says, I want to buy life insurance. Correct. Hopefully after this show, there'll be a lot of people calling us and saying, hey Manoj, we heard you and we want to buy life insurance, but that doesn't happen. So we solicit a meeting, and in that meeting, what we have done is we've created an end-to-end digital journey for our customers, a great advisory tool we've created, and we take these customers through a proper advice process, which this tool is powered with artificial intelligence, is powered with a lot of research that allows our customers to foresee the different situations that they may have in the future.
Okay.
And at the end of the whole process, once we identify the needs, the tool also recommends what products they should buy for their needs.
Perfect.
Right? Yeah, what products. And that is basis their needs, basis their budgets, because everybody has a different budget to spare. And also important is basis the priorities of the needs. Not every need is of top priority, right? So based on all of these things, the tool recommends the product. And we give away a recommendation report. And again, I can't stop myself from saying, at Zurich Advisory Network, our aspiration is that this recommendation report should reach every network. Our aspiration is that this recommendation report should reach every household in UAE.
Very nice.
Right? So to answer your question now, what should people do? They should meet an insurance advisor from Zurich Advisory Network. They should get the recommendation report, which tells them exactly what are their insurance gaps, what are their long-term financial gaps, and how can they take care of them.
Manoj, we got some questions and हमेशा यही सवाल होता है that जब claim का time आता है, compensation का time आता है, तब is when we really need the help of a insurance company. Now, how easy claims are being realized? For example, if 1 month time from the deceased person, do we have to run around offices? Driving का ये message आया है.
Good question, and at Zurich, this is one thing that we really take pride of, right? We are one life insurance company in this part of the world that has been paying claims regularly. Our average claim payment period is 72 hours, right? We go about and advertise and tell people how much of claims we have paid. Like last 3 years, we paid $166 million. In average 3 days. We've also paid claim in 24 hours, right? So this is our strong point, and we're the best at it in business, right? So to the listener who asked this question, if you have a policy from Zurich, and God forbid you had to claim, you can rest be assured it will be paid to you within 72 hours.
Right. And also, Manoj, because we're talking about life insurance and we're talking about claims, I have to ask you about the next question. The onset of purchasing the life insurance, the importance of being transparent with the, with Zurich, for example. If I'm taking an insurance from you, how important is it for me to be transparent with my information?
Absolutely. And that brings to another statistics. We paid 98% of the claims, okay? And the other 2% that we didn't pay, that was because of lack of transparency from the insured member when they were onboarded, right?
Right.
So if you are honest in your application, we will underwrite you at the onset of their application. So when we have onboarded you as a customer, and you have been truthful, rest be assured the claim is going to be paid. Right. But if you've not been truthful, then there are questions around it, right? And in our case, only 2% of such customers were not so truthful.
Wow. So there's no way that people can work around this. Obviously, if they're given documents stating that, yes, we missed out on information. No, this was not true at that point in time. I kind of, incurred this illness along the way. And people can come up with excuses, right? So what do you do in situations like that?
Medical science has really progressed, Muriel,
right.
and it's easy to find that out. So my recommendation is, let's not find shortcuts, right? You are wanting to protect yourself and your family for future financial security. The least you can do today is be honest, right?
Perfect. We got a question from Harun. Is there a repayment paid by the insurance if no claims are made within, for example, 10 to 20 years? So there are different products as well. Maturity पे मिलता है आपको. Is that the case?
There are different kinds of products. You can buy a product. So if this listener wants to see if I can get back something, then you could buy a product which could be a whole of life product, right? You're paying premiums at a certain point of time. You don't want the life insurance to continue. You stop paying the premiums. You surrender the policy and take the proceeds, whatever savings you have. Right. You can buy return of premium policies as well, which means after a certain period, if you've not if you didn't claim, then the premiums are returned. So there are policies available in the market like that.
So Harun, जरूर check out कीजिए ये सारे amazing products Zurich के.
Right, absolutely. And Manoj, we've been hearing about this term. It's called free to look period. What does this really mean? And if I have changed my mind after I've purchased an insurance, how is it that Zurich is going to step in and help me?
Okay, so it's a great concept called free look period. Free look period is after I buy a policy as a customer, I have 30 days, right, where I'm free to look back and say if I want to change my decision, right? And your premiums are returned. So I bought a policy, I'm covered, and I have 30 days then to look at the terms and conditions, and I feel that, okay, no, these are not the things that I would want to accept as terms and conditions, or I have a change of mind, I don't want to buy this policy anymore, right? In any of those situations, in the first 30 days of that, of the issuance of the policy, the customer can say, thank you very much, I don't want this policy, and we will return the premiums.
Superb. अगर आपके पास भी कोई सवाल for Manoj, you can always give us a call 800-81003 या WhatsApp 0586861003.
100.3.
Are you ready for life? Get some breathtaking insights about key health risks in the region and understand why life insurance is an investment, not an expense. Our special guest, Manoj Poduval, head of the Zurich Advisory Network, will join us this week on Talk 100.3 to dispel common myths and misconceptions about life insurance. Only on Daybreak on 21st June, 8 a.m. on Talk 100.3.
Daybreak with Vivek, Sanil and Muriel Disar. Brought to you by Dr. Rohit Kumar. Call 055 1965 678. Talk 100.3.
BNI, a business support group that believes in standing, growing and succeeding together, brings to all small business owners its flagship networking event. Curd presents BNI UAE Expo, offering diverse sessions and panel discussions that will help grow your business. BNI Expo, 24th June, 8 a.m. onwards at La Meridian Hotel and Conference Center. Register now and get your BNI Expo pass. Visit bniuaexpo.com in association with Kit and Caboodle. Supported by Expert Hub Robots, City One Travel, Hitesh Electricals, Complifin, Design Smith, Chrysals, Yardstick Marketing Management and Limitless Ideas. Official radio partner Talk 100.3.
The Journal on Daybreak. The latest share market, stock market news and updates on Talk 100.3.
Indian markets देखते हैं Nifty is up by 0.28%, 18,869. Bank Nifty up by 0.31%, 43,898.95, and Sensex is up by 0.26%, 63,490.22.
It's time we take a closer look at the US stock markets at close. Dow Jones down 0.72%, trading at 34,053.87. S&P 500 seeing a bit of a dip, 0.47%, trading at 4,388.71. Nasdaq as well seeing a bit of a dip, 0.16%, trading at 13,667.29. Russell is trading at 1,866.70. Also, Wix is seeing a bit of a dip at 2.18%, trading at 13.88.
Talk 100.3 Traffic.
Abu Dhabi में it is all good as of now. Usual से भी बहुत कम ट्रैफिक है, but दुबई शारजा 311 पे एक्सीडेंट, मोएस्ना के वापस, so काफी ट्रैफिक आपको मिलेगा. मोवेलिया के बाद एक एक्सीडेंट एंड मोएस्ना पे एक एक्सीडेंट, so 311 पे सिटी सेंटर जैया ऑनवर्ड जैम पैक ट्रैफिक. अल्दैड रोड पे 611 की तरफ सेफ जोन ऑनवर्ड्स बहुत ट्रैफिक. इतिहाद रोड पे अलमुल्ला प्लाजा तक जैम पैक. वाफी ऑनवर्ड्स वर्ल्ड ट्रेड सेंटर इज वेल. रासल खोर रोड से जब आप दुबई डिजाइन डिस्ट्रिक्ट से अलखेल आ रहे हो काफी ट्रैफिक. अल रबात के एग्जिट पे टिल फेस्टिवल सिटी रासल खोर एग्जिट इज वेल, काफी ट्रैफिक 311 पे. बटरफ्लाई गार्डन के वापस एक एक्सीडेंट हुआ है, तो 311 से जैसे ही आप बर्शा का एग्जिट ले रहे हो बहुत ट्रैफिक. उमसुकेम का रास्ता गोइंग टुवर्ड्स एमओई. प्रोडक्शन सिटी से अलखेल का ब्रिज जेवीसी पे एक एक्सीडेंट हुआ है, इसकी वजह से बहुत ट्रैफिक आपको मिलेगा. एंड ऑल्सो डीआईपी एग्जिट ऑन 311, काफी ट्रैफिक वहां पे भी. ड्राइव सेफ.
Talk 100.3.
Welcome to Daybreak with Vivek, Sanil and myself, Muriel Disar. Still in conversation with Manoj Poduval from Zurich International Life Insurance. He's talking to us about all things insurance, and we have Fizan online with us.
Hi Fizan.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, I have a quick question. So I have moved to Dubai on a freelance visa.
Okay.
So I wanted to check which is a good insurance package that I should get as an individual.
Life insurance, health insurance you're looking for?
What's that mandatory one? I think it's the
Health insurance.
I believe. Yes,
Which?
correct. I would like to go for that.
Okay.
The mandatory one is the health
mandatory.
insurance
Correct.
one.
The mandatory one. Yes.
Yes.
Correct. So if you've moved on a freelance visa, again, out of subject topic for me, but since I've been into the insurance for the last over 2 decades, I'll answer that. Health insurance is mandatory, and I thank the government for making it mandatory over here, so everybody gets the opportunity to own one insurance. There are many options. If you go onto the DHA website, if you're based out of Dubai, then you will find many options of preferred insurance providers who provide the health insurance, and you can look at the lowest premium or the best coverage that you would want, and you would get that option. You can even buy a lot of them online as well.
ठीक है.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best. Yeah. And also ये होता है कि as a mandate आपको मिलता ही है insurance from your company. You're getting a health insurance. Why do I need a critical insurance?
Good question. See, what happens typically in a health insurance plan, it has annual limits, it has restrictions. It takes care of your basic cough and cold and some amount of, basic diseases that I might have. But when a critical illness strikes, the expenses of treatment is so high. We have seen many times that the annual limit of the health insurance gets busted, which means the annual limit is not enough to take care of the critical illness coverages. For example, if somebody is diagnosed of cancer, right, a radiotherapy can cost 120,000 dirhams.
Wow.
And this is not my figures; these are figures from a cancer surgeon from Prime Hospital. I was interviewing her a few months ago, and she said this, right? A chemotherapy average session is 30,000 to 40,000 dirhams. So if you have 10 sessions to take, then your health insurance most likely is gone. Right?
Yeah.
So then what happens? And let's say if you're diagnosed with a critical illness, sometimes you would want your family to come and stay with you for a support, for a mental support. Health insurance is not going to cover that.
Correct.
A critical illness policy pays you benefits exactly when you're diagnosed, right? When you're diagnosed of a cancer or a critical illness, we pay you the claim and we pay you the lump sum, which means you can decide where you want to go for your treatment. You can decide who should be there with you for that treatment. Other expenses. There's also expense of recovery. After my initial, illness is, how do I say, recovered, or rather I have got myself treated, then I have a recovery period for a few months, for a few years. Health insurance doesn't pay you for that.
Right.
Critical illness pays you for that.
And doesn't matter आपके dependents हो या नहीं हो, critical illness जो है ना, it really helps you. Are there any more examples of situations where having a life insurance can be beneficial even for individuals who don't have dependents?
Yes, there are many. But again, let me take an example of one of our claimants, right? Because you asked, are there any examples, right? She was young when she had to claim. She was at the best of her health. She was mountaineering, she was hiking, and her videos are there on our social media platforms as well. So anybody can go and listen to that. She was in the best of her health. She was hiking, and that's when she realized that she's got cancer, right? So I'm healthy, I am young. But that doesn't mean I won't get cancer. That doesn't mean I won't get critical illness, right? So that's one example. Another lady, very young lady, like you said earlier, Vivek, her father bought an insurance policy for her.
Yeah.
She didn't even know she had one until when she got to know that she has a brain tumor. And her brother-in-law told her, hey, listen, I think we have a policy from Zurich, right? Why don't we just go? And she submitted the claim and we paid the claim. So again, very young, right? Didn't realize that she had this. And because she had an insurance policy, we paid the claim.
It's a very good thing. A lot of companies here, like the one that I was working for, even they had insured us and without us knowing, So it's a very good thing that...
It's a good gesture when it comes from the corporate side as well, right?
Absolutely. A lot of large corporates today take this as part of their employee benefits program. They provide life insurance to their employees. They provide disability coverages, critical illness coverages as well. And this is also a tool for retention for a lot of employees because the better...
110% if you're living in a country like UAE. Also, we have another question that has come in. It says, is there a list of critical illness that are covered and those that are exempt?
Yes, usually there are. Every critical illness policy comes with a list of critical illness. Usually it's about 32, 33, 34, that sort of illnesses that are covered. All the major ones like heart attack, stroke, cancer, etc., etc. There are 32 illnesses, and every insurance policy that you would buy, a critical illness policy that you would buy, you would see that list of covered illnesses.
एक और question आया है कि I already have an insurance. Is it possible to switch to Zurich?
I shouldn't be saying this on air. You should buy one more policy from Zurich, right? And that you should do only after meeting a Zurich advisor if you need to buy, right? If you don't need to buy, stay put with your policy. That's good enough for you.
क्या healthy practice है?
But no, Manoj, this brings me also to another question. Whilst you were talking, can I have multiple life insurance policies or critical illness policies? Can I own two policies from different sources?
Of course you can. You can own multiple life insurance policies. And if your question is oriented towards, God forbid, if I die, will the multiple insurance companies pay the claim? Yes. Right? Definitely. Multiple critical illness claims? I don't think so, right?
Okay.
But if you have two critical illness policies, then they are bound to pay you the claim definitely, right? I don't. When I say I don't think so, means I don't think so. You should buy multiple critical illness policies, right? You take one critical illness policy that you need and you buy it.
Right. And what are the three main factors that one must consider when buying an insurance? We'll get to that, but after the sports break.
This is Talk 100.3.
US Coast Guard has said breathable oxygen on board a missing submersible is due to run out tomorrow morning. The vessel, called Titan, lost contact with its mothership on Sunday morning. 5 people are on board, including British billionaire Hamish Harding. Former Royal Navy officer Rear Admiral Chris Parry says it's a race against time.
Right now, they don't have...
Admiral Chris Parry says it's a race against time.
Right now, they don't have a location, they don't have a solution, and the time is running out. This is getting very urgent in terms of air, and unless they bring in some very radical solutions, then this is going to run out of time.
The US president says he supports his son, who's expected to plead guilty to failing to pay income tax and has done a deal on claims he illegally owned a gun. Hunter Biden's agreed to admit 2 counts related to not coughing up what he owed the taxman. England captain Ben Stokes insists they'll continue their aggressive approach to Test cricket despite the 2-wicket defeat to Australia in the opening match of the Ashes. He's been criticised by some for declaring in the first innings when Joe Root was unbeaten on 118. Stokes says he doesn't regret the decision.
I'm a captain and a person who's seen that as an opportunity to pounce, and I could also turn it around and say if we didn't declare, would we have got that excitement that we did at the end of day 5? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not going to be looking back on this game as what ifs. The reality is that we just didn't manage to get over the line this week.
The second match is at Lord's next week. That's the latest. I'm Faye Rowland.
Talk 100.3 Sport.
In football, Cristiano Ronaldo won his 199th Portugal cap as his side cruised past Bosnia-Herzegovina to maintain their winning streak in their Euro 2024 qualifying campaign. Bruno Fernandes set up Bernardo Silva, who opened the scoring with a chipped effort in the 44th minute. Fernandes added a second through a 77th minute header and a third in the closing stages with a sweet strike. Ronaldo had a first half header ruled out for offside at Estádio da Luz. Portugal stayed top of Group J, having won all 3 of their matches. Coming into the fixture in Lisbon, Al Nassr's Ronaldo, 38, had scored 4 goals across 2 European Championship qualifiers in March. He was fractionally offside when he nodded home João Cancelo's cross in the 23rd minute, but Portugal were able to canter to victory without their talisman among the goals. In tennis, Katie Boulter won her first WTA title with a dominant victory in Nottingham over Jodie Burrage in the first All-British Tour level final in 46 years. The British women's #1 ranking was also on the line as Boulter outplayed her good friend 6-3, 6-3. Earlier, Andy Murray won the men's event as Britain's find form on grass before next month's Wimbledon. Boulter and Burrage were contesting the first All-British WTA final since Sue Barker beat Virginia Wade in San Francisco on 28 February 1977. Both players were also appearing in their first WTA finals after excellent performance in Nottingham this week, but it was Boulter who took control from the start. In Formula 1, Charles Leclerc said Ferrari have to be better after the team overruled his wishes on tyres and he qualified 11th at the Canadian Grand Prix. Leclerc fell foul of tricky conditions in a wet qualifying season in Montreal and said Ferrari were making our life way too difficult in those situations. It was the latest example in recent years of Ferrari's strategy decisions being called into question. In cricket, England bowler Moeen Ali has been fined for applying a spray to his bowling hand during the second day of the first Ashes test on Saturday. Players use drying sprays to help reduce sweat but are not allowed to do so without approval from umpires. The incident was seen on TV cameras and the International Cricket Council said it displayed conduct that is contrary to the spirit of the game. Moeen, 36, admitted the offence and has been fined 25% of his match fee. He has also been given 1 demerit point. It was deemed the spray was not used to change the condition of the ball, which would have been a more serious offence. That's all from the Sports Desk on Talk 100.3.
Wake me up in the morning. Daybreak with Vivek Sanil and Muriel Disar. You know everything about me. Talk 100.3.
Do you know everything about insurance? If you don't, answering all your questions today, we have Manoj Poduval from Zurich International Life Middle East. He's the head of Zurich Advisory Network and he's here to answer all your questions. We have someone on hold with us.
Pankaj, hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Very good, very good. आप पूछ सकते हैं सवाल मनोज हमारे साथ है.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you, Pankaj?
All good, Manoj. Manoj, like a typical question I'm sure you would have faced from many clients. what's the right age to take the life insurance because premium varies accordingly?
The fact that you thought about it today, Pankaj, today is the right day to buy life insurance for you.
His clients is what he's asking
His
about.
clients.
Yeah.
Start young, start now, and always that's what you should talk to your clients about. There is no right age to buy life insurance. The earlier you buy, the better. And I mentioned this earlier on the talk as well. If you're buying younger, then your premiums are lower, and you keep those low premiums throughout the policy term. So that's an advantage if you buy younger. Hopefully, I answered that question, Pankaj.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We also have with us on the line Khushi with us on the line. Hi, Khushi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Khushi. Khushi, we have Manoj in the studios, so you can shoot with your question.
Hi, Manoj.
Hi.
I just had a question. So, I'm a 21-year-old who's just beginning my career. Do I need life insurance, and how much would I have to put aside for it if I need it?
First of all, good morning, Kushi. Yeah, the answer to your question is, do I need life insurance? And the answer is definitely yes. How much should you put aside? I do not know the exact premiums, but I know a range. I can tell you if you're buying let's say $250,000 of coverage. Again, I don't know if that's the kind of coverage you would require. So my recommendation is, before you buy, meet up with a financial advisor who will take you through the entire process and tell you whether you should buy or you should not buy. And if you have to buy, what should you buy, which product should buy. But let's assume that you're buying a simple term plan for $250,000. It should not cost you more than 100 dirhams a month, right? Which is, to get a coverage of 850, 900,000 dirhams is not going to cost you more than 100.
How many years? 20 years?
25, I think 25 years. I'm just thinking of
suddenly,
premiums vary from product and for how many years you're buying. I'm just giving you a very, very, very basic high level kind of an view.
Right. Khushi.
Okay.
Thank you, Khushi. Thank you. We also have Joel online with us.
Hi, Joel. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Manoj.
Good morning, Joel.
Hi. I'm aware of insurance, but I want you to throw some light on the frauds and scams happening in the name of insurance now. So could you please
a lot of
tell
people
us,
asking you to subscribe to the policies and run away with the money?
Yes, kind of that, and telling us your premium is pending, pay us right now, and sending some links, which unfortunately happens to be some threat to this thing, mobiles and all the things.
Fortunately, I have not faced any one of them, Joel. But if you do, or anyone does face that, do always verify the authenticity of such a message. Right? Ask yourself, do you really have a life insurance or an insurance that a premium is due, and do not click any malicious links. But if that's the fraud you were referring to, like any other fraud, just be aware and don't just fall in the trap and reply to messages randomly or click on links randomly that you don't understand, that you don't recognize. But other than that, I'm really worried. I'm really thinking, how can a life insurance company or anybody else
impersonate the names? For example, Zurich is a very known name. It's got a good brand value. So a lot of people impersonate that and send emails.
Yes, they do. And it's like all organizations today have taken this effort correct, security training, IT security training, and you go through trainings of understanding what are the malicious activities that can happen. So Joy, if you are working for an organization and you've gone through that training, you would know how to detect it. If somebody's not gone through it, some of the ways you can easily look at is look at the link, look at the subdomains name,
dot something dot
correct. So if you're getting an email from Zurich, it will always be at zurich.com. Right, and it'll not be nothing else.
Okay, Joel?
Yes. And one more small request, today is World Music Day. So I would like to dedicate small 2 lines. Especially since we want insurance in our life and people like you also in our life. A small song.
All right.
जब कोई बात बिगड़ जाए, जब कोई मुश्किल पड़ जाए, तुम देना साथ मेरा. Oh, hum nawab. Thank you.
बहुत जबरदस्त यार, Joel. Fantastic.
This is directly a dedication to Zurich. Please, हमारा साथ कभी छोड़ना नहीं.
जब कोई बात बिगड़ने तक पहुंचना ही नहीं चाहिए in the first place.
नहीं, और अगर बात बिगड़ गई तो Zurich हमेशा साथ देगी. Let's put it that way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We also have Anil with us on the line. Hi, Anil. Good morning. Oh, Anil ka line drop over.
We'll quickly get Anil on a call with us and we'll answer his question. But right now it's time for the stock updates.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rohit Kumar. If you're looking to lose weight in fast, effective and safe way, you can trust my 16 years of experience in performing weight loss surgeries. I also treat breast-related disorder, varicose veins, hernia, gallbladder stones, hemorrhoids, anal fissure and fistulas. I believe in a simple philosophy that no matter at what point of time in life or career you are, you should always strive to learn more and achieve more. Call me on 055 196 5678.
Make this Eid a special one with the big laughter riot with Biswa Kalyan Rath live in Dubai. Associate sponsor Ajmal Perfumes. Tickets starting from 100 dirhams only. Grab yours now at platinumlist.net. Use promo code BIG to avail 10% discount.
InsuranceMarket.ae now has over 20,000 Google reviews with a 4.9 star rating. The highest rated and the largest insurance platform in the country. InsuranceMarket.ae. For your car, health, home, life, travels or business.
The Journal on Daybreak. The latest share market, stock market news and updates on Talk 100.3.
Indian markets देखते Nifty is up by 0.26%, 18,865.75. Bank Nifty up by 0.29%, 43,891.90. Sensex up by 0.38%, 63,571.47.
It's time we take a closer look at the European stock markets at close. DAX down 0.55%, trading at 16,111.32. FTSE 100 seeing a bit of a dip at 0.25%, trading at 7,569.31. CSE 40 is also seeing a bit of a dip at 0.27%, trading at 7,294.17. IBEX 35 is seeing an upward graph, in fact, today 0.13%, trading at 9,444.50. Stocks 50 seeing a bit of a dip at 0.44%. Trading at 4,343.14.
Talk 100.3 Traffic.
Abu Dhabi में usual से भी कम traffic है. It is all great today. Drive safe. Dubai Sharjah Al Dhaid Road 311 E11 भरपूर traffic. Al Rabat के exit पे Festival City तक. Rasil Khor exit. Rasil Khor Industrial Area 1 onwards. Dubai Design District से Al Khail. वाफी से World Trade Center काफी traffic. Butterfly Garden onwards. Zumsukim का रास्ता एमओई की तरफ. JVC Al Khail के सामने एक्सीडेंट, सो प्रोडक्शन सिटी से अलखेल का ब्रिज जैम पैक. गरना सबका पे काफी ट्रैफिक बिल्डअप एंड डीआईपी एग्जिट ऑन 311. ड्राइव सेफ.
Talk 100.3.
डे ब्रेक आप सुन रहे हैं. अनिल हमारे साथ लाइन पे. हाय अनिल, गुड मॉर्निंग.
Hi, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
My question is, I'm aware about insurance, term plans and critical illness and all.
Okay.
In general, let's say Zurich or Max or all the leading players I'm talking about in general.
Okay.
So when we take any term plan or critical illness plan, is it have a global coverage? I mean to say, let's say it is valid for next 30 years. After 10 years, I move to other country, maybe India or somewhere else, and I'm keep on paying my premium on time. There is no lapses. Considering that part on track, is it applicable for all? Is there any specific clause? Whether it is critical illness or terminal illness or death or whatever claim in the sense.
Anil, good morning to you. Very good question. So let me talk about Zurich's policies first, right? If you're buying a life insurance policy from Zurich, yes, it is a worldwide coverage that we issue to you. As long as you're paying premiums, like you said, after 5 or 10 years, you're paying the premiums, the policy is not lapsed, like you said, and you have moved to India in your example, and God forbid you had to claim from India, yes, we will make sure that the claim reaches your family members in India into their account number.
Anil,
Okay,
did we answer?
Yeah.
Partially, yes, I know since he's representing Zurich, but in general, like let's say Max or LIC, whatever leading players in the market. So in general, there are any, like something which is in inverted commas, which we should be more aware.
Okay.
Anil, see, each company have their own coverage, laws, etc. You took a few names of the insurance companies. I don't want to comment on those insurance companies. Sure. That's just not fair. But I would assume that if you're buying a life insurance policy and death happens in any part of the world, as long as those documents reach the insurance company and your policy is active, as you said, it's not lapsed, the claim is payable. That's a very, very logical thing to assume. There are usually no fine prints in this, Anil, because at the end of the day, the insurer is there to pay claims, right? So, and they have to honor their commitment. So there is usually no such fine print there, right? But I wouldn't want to comment on any particular insurance company or so.
Agreed.
Thank you, Anil.
Thank you, Anil. Also now, Manoj, we're talking about claims and we're talking about insurance. What happens in a situation where I have missed my premium, where I haven't paid it maybe 2 months in a row, 3 months in the row, and does that mean that the policy is now lapsed?
No, it really, Muriel, depends on the policy, right? So let's say if it's a pure on the policy, right? So let's say if it's a pure term plan, right? It's like your car insurance, your life insurance in this situation, right? You have to pay premiums for the policy to be active. If you miss your premiums, the chances are the policy will lapse, right? Lapse which means the coverage doesn't exist. So, and then you remember that, oh, I couldn't pay the premiums. My policy has lapsed. You can always get back to the insurance company and they will reinstate the policy by you paying the premiums and the policy is back active again. Now, this is in case of a term plan. If it's a whole of life plan which has some bit of savings elements in it, the policy does not lapse because there is a cash value. There is some savings, right? So the fees and the stuff that the insurance company would need to keep your policy active is taken from that savings. Your policy most likely will remain active. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of people do buy whole of life insurance policies as well, because they know there's some bit of savings. God forbid I miss 1 or 2 months, at least the charges are taken from my own savings, right?
So in a given situation, I don't have any dependents, right? So what are the long-term benefits or financial security that I could be looking at with a life insurance?
See, if you don't have dependents, technically speaking, why would you buy a life insurance policy, right? Because if I don't have dependents, there's nobody who's going to be looking forward for my income or the money that I am contributing towards them on a monthly basis. I insure myself for that safety, correct? But that doesn't mean you shouldn't have insurance. Critical illness insurance, you should definitely have, because that's a living benefit. That's for you. When you are critically ill, that benefit will come to you. That money will come to you to take care of your illness and take care of your recovery and all of that stuff, right? But then again, I could be a youngster, I have no dependents, but I could be supporting, let's say, a social cause. I could be supporting an orphanage. I could be contributing money for charity every month, which means they are dependent on that contribution. Many kids, right? So then I should have life insurance. So it again depends on your situation. If you have nobody who really bothers or cares about what you make, then why do you need life insurance?
But also critical insurance, अगर आप लेते हो, तो there's a possibility that you could get the claim back in another 20 years? Is there a product at Zurich?
Claim back means premium back, you mean to say?
Yeah, for example, I haven't used it. There is no I have not been diagnosed by any critical illness. Is there any possibility on that front as well?
There are some products available, right? For example, let's say you're buying critical illness with a whole of life policy, right? We have that combination. We have a whole of life policy and a critical illness that is, attached to that policy. So if you didn't get a critical illness, that's fine. Your whole of life policy continues and you make savings and you have also protection over there.
Fantastic, yeah.
Absolutely.
Great options, yeah.
Amazing options, right? I mean, none of us really gave it a thought to think about life insurance as a way of saving and protecting you, in the future. Now, moving forward, what are those factors that I must bear in mind when I'm opting to buy an insurance?
I think I've said this 3-4 times. First, buy now, right? Think of it, meet a financial advisor now. When you're wanting to buy life insurance, again, it's a very vast topic, Muriel, so I'll try to kind of just touch upon the high levels. You should know what are your expenses, what are your savings, basics, right? You should know that if something goes wrong with you, if a death happens, who are your dependents and how much money do they require, right? And based on that, a life insurance is first decided. You should also know what are your large expenses that you're going to have in the future. For example, me, I have 2 young kids, right? And if God forbid something happens to me, not just that my family needs money to survive, but they also need money in the future to take care of my kids' university education, right? There are many people who are dependent on my income. I need to make sure that they get money irrespective of whether I'm alive or dead, right? Correct. So these are some of the factors you have to go consider while you're buying life insurance. Leave that to the expert. Let a financial advisor meet up with you and provide you that advice.
Okay, we've also got a message that has just come and says, what is the minimum age for whole life?
जैसे आपने अभी बताया about whole life insurance, what is the minimum age that we should start? A lot of people start when the kids are born, actually, right?
No, but to buy a whole of life, you should be at least 18 years
At
of
least
age. You
18.
should be adult and you can buy a policy on your own life, right? So that's
Correct.
the minimum age.
And
He's
yes,
also asking about critical care.
Same.
Same?
Yeah. Same.
Okay. 0586861003 हमारा WhatsApp नंबर या फोन भी कर सकते हैं 800-81003. मनोज पोडुवल हमारे साथ for the next 10 minutes. Zurich International Life Middle East. He is the head of Zurich Advisory Network. सुनते रहिए Talk 100.3.
कहते हैं ना, try and try till you succeed. हार न मान मेरे शेर, मजबूत बन मजबूत, मिटाओ कमजोरी, बढ़ाओ रोजाना जिंदगी की ताकत, शक्ति और जोश. डाबर शिलाजीत कैप्सूल्स, आयुर्वेदिक सप्लीमेंट फॉर मेन. आपकी जीत, डाबर शिलाजीत. Consult your doctor before taking medicine and pharmaceutical products. Are you ready for life? Get some breathtaking insights about key health risks in the region and understand why life insurance is an investment, not an expense. Our special guest, Manoj Poduval, head of the Zurich Advisory Network, will join us this week on Talk 100.3 to dispel common myths and misconceptions about life insurance. Only on Daybreak on 21st June, 8 a.m. on Talk 100.3.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rohit Kumar. If you're looking to lose weight in fast, effective and safe way, you can trust my 16 years of experience in performing weight loss surgeries. I also treat breast-related disorder, varicose veins, hernia, gallbladder stones, hemorrhoids, anal fissure and fistulas. I believe in a simple philosophy that no matter at what point of time in life or career you are, you should always strive to learn more and achieve more. Call me on 055 196 5678.
This is Daybreak with Vivek Sanil and Muriel Disar. Talk 100.3.
Daybreak आप सुन रहे हैं विवेक म्यूरियल आपके साथ मनोज पोडुवल हमारे साथ एंड व्हाट एन इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन वी हैव गॉट राइट नाउ और इसका जवाब या मुंह तोड़ जवाब जो है मनोज देना चाहेंगे.
क्वेश्चन क्या है वो तो बोलो.
मोहसिन का क्वेश्चन है हाउ बेटर इज ज़्यूरिक फ्रॉम अदर इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज. मनोज
यार आई एम टेम्पटेड टू से नाम ही काफ़ी है लेकिन आई थिंक देयर आर मेनी रीजंस व्हाई ज़्यूरिक इज़ बेटर देन मेनी अदर इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज एटलीस्ट इन दिस पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. बट अगर मैं एक ही स्टैटिस्टिक्स ले लूँ 98% ऑफ द क्लेम्स वर ऑनर्ड. इसको कोई नहीं तोड़ सकता है राइट. सो जब बात आती है कि हमें ज़रूरत है क्लेम की तो यू कैन रेस्ट बी एश्योर्ड ज़्यूरिक आपका साथ देगी. इससे ज़्यादा क्या चाहिए आपको लाइफ इंश्योरेंस खरीदने के लिए.
क्या बात है मोहसिन, आपको जवाब मिल गया होगा इसका.
Absolutely. So we've also got a message. It says, how soon should I approach a Zurich contact center?
Now, 800 Zurich is the number.
Okay. Right.
ZURICH.
Correct. 800 ZURICH.
Correct.
So that is, we're talking about insurances, we're talking about policies. And right now, something that I really need to ask you, Manoj, is how do insurance policies and contracts provide legal protection and assurances, especially to policyholders regarding claim payments?
And I mentioned this a bit earlier as well. As long as I am, when I buy the policy, I declare all my health conditions and everything. I got to be rest assured that it's going to be taken care of by the insurance company when the claim comes, right? So, legally protection, the policy terms and conditions are drafted to protect the policyholder, right? It is drafted in such a way that, listen, as long as you're honest and telling us and we have accepted the risk, then be rest assured we will pay the claim when it comes to that point, right? So the terms and conditions usually become the very, the bad things, the underlying things, the small prints. There is nothing like that. In fact, in our policy document, there are no fine prints.
I was about to ask you, what about the fine prints? Because everybody says, okay, but when it comes to this...
Anil also asked, right? Ki how should we be aware जब भी कोई insurance company के साथ आप policy sign करते हो?
So there are no fine prints, as I said, first of all in Zurich. सारे एक ही font में हैं और सारे बहुत simple language में हैं, right? And we've customized our terms and conditions also to that a common person can understand. No legal jargon's been used there, right? So that's the easiest thing. You just pick up the policy terms and conditions, and that's also available on the net. You go and read it, and you will figure out what are you covered for, what are you not covered for.
But this fear is real, Manoj. कि जब भी कोई insurance policy लेता है, वो हमेशा ये सोचता है कि शायद मुझे वो पूरा claim नहीं मिलेगा. these incidents have happened in people's life.
हुए हैं, बहुत बार हुए हैं, and that's happened, and that's the reason why people are afraid, right? And again, I might sound cheesy again, but that is why it is important to buy a policy from an insurance company that is trusted, that believes in providing the right, coverage and making sure everything is lily white from day one, like Zurich, for instance.
All right, as we speak, Manoj, we've just gotten a message that says, currently I have a one life insurance for cover of 1 crore rupees. Is it possible to revise the same policy or make it for the coverage of 2 crores? Or can I buy another policy of another crore from another insurer? Or should I be buying from the same insurer? And will the policies then be valid? We already addressed this question, but just
I think, see, some life insurance companies do offer a facility where you can top up or do an increment on your existing cover. I know in the Middle East, Zurich definitely does, right? And I don't think any other insurance company in the Middle East does that. Okay. But if they, since the person asked a question about 1 crore, which means I'm assuming it's from India or Pakistan probably, right? So 1 crore, you have to check with your insurance company if they can allow you to do an increment on your existing policy. If they don't, then it could be a new policy. And if it's a new policy, you're a listener here, then you should buy from here.
Absolutely. Couple of voice notes आया है.
Right.
Quickly, let's listen to them.
Good morning. मुझे एक इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए था. अभी जो टर्म इंश्योरेंस रहता है, हम लोग बनाते टर्म इंश्योरेंस करते हैं, तो इसके लिए कुछ रहता है कि 30 इयर्स करना है या 20 इयर्स ऐसा रहता है. एंड द थिंग इज अप टू रिटायरमेंट लाइक 60 इयर्स एज तक करते हैं समझो कि टर्म इंश्योरेंस. उसके बाद में उसका कुछ रिटर्न हमको मिलता है या वो अमाउंट आफ्टर डेथ फैमिली को ही कुछ मिलता है?
सो ये सवाल.
सो सी, टर्म इंश्योरेंस मतलब फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर टर्म मैं अपने आप को कवर कर रहा हूँ, राइट? सो इफ एट वॉट एवर एज आई एम, अगर मैं चाहता हूँ कि मैं अपने आप को कवर करूँ टिल द टाइम आई रिटायर, राइट, विच मीन दिस आर माई लिविंग ईयर, दिस आर माई अर्निंग ईयर्स, राइट? तो उस टाइम के लिए अगर मुझे कुछ हो गया उस दरमियान, तो मेरी फैमिली को कवर मिलना चाहिए, मेरी फैमिली को वो पैसा मिलना चाहिए, इसलिए हम टर्म प्लान लेते हैं. अगर आपको रिटर्न्स चाहिए, अगर आपको पैसे चाहिए, अगर आपको सेविंग्स चाहिए, तो वो टर्म प्लान आंसर नहीं है आपका. देन यू हैव टू लुक एट होल ऑफ लाइफ प्लान्स, नीड लुक एट एंडोमेंट प्लान्स एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट, जो आपकी सेविंग्स प्लान्स हैं, जिस पे प्रोटेक्शन भी हो सकती है अगर चाहिए आपको, तो दोनों वाली कॉम्बिनेशन लें आप. फिर टर्म प्लान लेके टर्म प्लान में से मुझे रिटर्न मिले, टर्म प्लान मुझे सेविंग्स मिले, वो पॉसिबल नहीं है.
Right. We've also quickly got a message that's come in from Khalid. Said, when we are taking insurance, we have to nominate only blood relative, or how many times can we change the nominee?
अच्छा, इनको अपना गर्लफ्रेंड नॉमिनेट करना था, इज इट?
नहीं, आप कर सकते हैं एक्चुअली हमारे साथ तो डेफिनेटली. सो आप किसी को भी बेनिफिशियरी बना सकते हैं, ऐसी बात नहीं है, एज लॉन्ग एज आपके पास जायज़ वजह होगा आप इन्हें क्यों बेनिफिशियरी बनाना चाहते हैं. नो इश्यूज. आपको बेनिफिशियरी चेंज करना है तो आप बेनिफिशियरी चेंज भी कर सकते हैं.
So it doesn't have to be only blood relative.
It doesn't have to.
So we also got another voice note that has come in. Quickly, let's play that just in case.
Okay.
Good morning, bye. Good morning, Muriel. I hope all is well. I have one question. I have diabetes, so can I go for a critical illness? That's my question. Thank you. Keshav here.
Okay, good question. I have diabetes. Can I go for a critical illness insurance policy? I think you should definitely apply and let the underwriters look at your health condition. Let us send you for the medicals and then decide that. Let's not come to a conclusion now whether you should buy or not buy. I think first answer, should you buy? Yes, you should buy. If you don't have one, will you get an insurance policy? I think let's apply and leave it to the underwriters for them to understand. I can't comment on what stage you are in diabetes, etc. Okay. I don't know what medications you're taking. How's your other health related to diabetes? So I don't think I will be able to comment on that. My simple answer would be just put an application or just even put a request. Forget about an application with your health condition and we'll tell you if you'll get a life insurance, we'll get a critical illness or not.
Keshav, I'm sure आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल गया हो, बट 800 ज्यूरिक पे आप फोन भी कर सकते हैं. दैट्स 800 ZURICH. एक और वॉइस नोट आया है.
Well, I guess so. Another voice note has just come in.
Good morning, bye. Good morning.
अच्छा, same voice.
वही वापस repeat हुआ है.
So we're running out of time, yeah?
Absolutely, we are. This was a fun chat with you, Manoj. Really informative. I mean, you put through you put things into perspective. Thank you once again for taking time out and coming to our studios.
Thank you, Muriel. Thank you, Vivek. Really appreciate this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
The US Coast Guard has said breathable oxygen on board a missing submersible is due to run out tomorrow morning. The vessel, called Titan, lost contact with its mothership on Sunday morning. 5 people are on board, including British billionaire Hamish Harding. Former Royal Navy officer Rear Admiral Chris Parry says it's a race against time.
Right now, they don't have a location, they don't have a solution, and the time is running out. This is getting very urgent in terms of air, and unless they bring in some very radical solutions, then this is going to run out of time.
The US president says he supports his son, who's expected to plead guilty to failing to pay income tax and has done a deal on claims he illegally owned a gun. Hunter Biden's agreed to admit 2 counts related to not coughing up what he owed the taxman. England captain Ben Stokes insists they'll continue their aggressive approach to Test cricket despite the 2-wicket defeat to Australia in the opening match of the Ashes. He's been criticised by some for declaring in the first innings when Joe Root was unbeaten on 118. Stokes says he doesn't regret the decision.
I'm a captain and a person who's seen that as an opportunity to pounce, and I could also turn it around and say if we didn't declare, would we have got that excitement that we did at the end of day 5? I'm not 100% sure, but